Stephen Hurahan here at BrandMasterAcademy.com, and in this video you're going to learn 10 tips to market your branding services so you can stop waiting on referrals and start to build an actual business. Now, when I became a freelancer for the first time, I went about building my own brand, and I remember spending weeks on end developing that brand, the brand identity, the website, and then when I pushed my website live, I kind of felt like all of a sudden I was out there and I was ready to go, and I was kind of expecting the door to start banging down for inquiries to start coming in the door straight away. And I had this feeling like I had opened my shop doors in the middle of Times Square, when the reality of it was I had created a little lemonade stand in the middle of the Sahara Desert. So, it took me a while to realize that I had a long road ahead of me to really understand what I needed to do to build an actual branding business. And that's what I want to go through in this video. I want to lay out some of the tips and tricks that I learned along the way so that you can shortcut your progression and build your branding business. Number one, position yourself effectively. Now, if you've gone out into the marketplace and positioned yourself as services for small businesses, well then you haven't positioned yourself at all, because at the end of the day, if you think about it, there's only three types of businesses: small, medium, and large. And if you're producing branding services or design services for small businesses, well then that's pretty much everybody except for medium to large businesses. So really take the time to think about who you want to serve. What type of client do you want to work with? What kind of work do you want to do? What kind of niche or industry do you want to serve? And really think about where you can offer the most value, where you can offer the best kind of service. So really think about what you want to do in the market, what you want to be known for, and take the time to position your brand effectively. Number two, develop a brand persona. Now, you might be shy and introverted, or you might be the most charismatic person in the room, but when it comes to your brand and who you're trying to connect with, you need to understand the type of personality that they are and the desires that they have, and then to portray the characteristics that they're going to be most attracted to. So really think about what you're trying to do and the connection that you're trying to make here, and really build a brand out so that you have this human persona front and center, and that your brand feels like somebody that your audience can engage and kind of get that interaction with, and it feels approachable and it feels human. Number three, tailor your messaging. Now, this is absolutely, without a doubt, one of the biggest advantages of positioning yourself effectively, in that you can talk to your audience more specifically, in much more detail as to their situation, what they're feeling, the journey they're on, the challenges and pain points that they have, the outcome that they want to achieve. You can get a lot more specific with your messaging, and the more specific you are, the more you will resonate with who they are. And if you resonate, well then they will feel that you understand them, and you can make that connection. That is how you're really going to engage your audience, if they feel that you understand them through your specific and tailored communication and messaging. So tailor that communication. Once you've positioned yourself effectively, tailor that communication to speak to that exact audience. Number four, develop your story. Now, just to clarify here, this is not your story, and if you're building out a story for your brand, the story is not about you. It's not about your journey, how you became a designer or a brand specialist or anything like that. It's about your audience, who they are, and the journey that they're on. Now, if you are somebody who is targeting somebody else in your exact same position or on the exact same journey that you were on, well then you can create a story that will resonate directly with them. But if your situation is slightly different, let's say you're a brand specialist and you're targeting specific entrepreneurs in a specific industry, well then you want to develop a story that resonates with who they are, a story about somebody on a journey that they're going through, because if they see themselves within your story, then that again will resonate with them and it will hit home, and you will be able to engage them through that story. Number five, create a brand presence. Now, this will come naturally to you. If you are a designer, you're probably used to designing brand identity systems, maybe even websites, but this is what you need to do now to bring your brand to life visually. You've got your brand strategy behind you, you've got your positioning and your messaging and your story and your persona. Now you want to bring that to life visually and put yourself out there. So put yourself out there through your website and through your social pages and any collateral that you have, and start start to bring that to life visually so you can introduce your brand to the world. Number 6, take your prices down. Now, I remember I flip-flopped between having my prices up there on my website and not wanting to have them up there. And I remember thinking at the time, if I had my prices up there and somebody came to my website, they would see what I charge, and therefore if I fell within their budget, they would be more likely to get in contact with me. But what I learned over time is that, you know, the people getting in contact because of prices, they're not the type of clients that you want to have on your books. They end up becoming more expensive, and, you know, they're always trying to squeeze you on price. And look, at the end of the day, you know, people order food from a menu, and if you have your services up on your website just like a menu, well then, you know, as I said, you're not attracting the right clients. So get your prices down and come up with a better system, and I'll show you in the tips upcoming how to do that. Number 7, create a funnel. Now, this is not something that they teach you in design school, how to go out and get clients, but something that I learned, and it took me quite a few years to learn this, was about marketing, about funnel marketing, and about understanding the journey that your client is on, your prospects are on, and giving them and facilitating them to step closer to becoming a client. So what you want to do is you want to make it as easy as possible for your website visitors to become clients. So if you understand, you know, every single step that they need to take to become warmer and warmer so that they're, you know, ready for your offer, they're ready to become a client, well then you can put those steps out there into the marketplace. And, you know, the first step would be a lead magnet, something of value that they can download and get a feel for the type of value that you offer. And then from there, maybe you would have an email drip sequence, and, you know, that would follow up with them with a few emails over the course of a few days, and then possibly an offer after that, or the opportunity for a phone call. But you need to understand the steps that you want your audience to take, that you want your prospects to take, to get closer to becoming an actual client. Because, you know, nobody's just going to come to your website and they're just gonna buy straight away. It doesn't happen that way. You need to understand the importance of funnel marketing and progressively bringing somebody closer to becoming a client. It does take on average around about 8 to 10 touch points for somebody to warm to the opportunity of becoming a client. So really understand funnel marketing and understand how you can apply that to your business. Number 8, develop a sales/teaching process. Now, early on in my career, I was in sales. I worked at a call center. I used to pick up the phone and cold call people to sell them into different products. Now, I was actually quite good at it, but the reality was I hated it. I really didn't like it. I didn't like any minute of my day when I was in that role, despite the fact that I was good at it, because there was just so much rejection. I would pick up the phone and I would dial numbers, and I'd spend the whole day, you know, people hanging up the phone on me. And, you know, even when I did get into a situation where I was selling somebody into something, it just felt kind of awkward. It just felt like I was putting pressure on them, and it's just not something that I like. So I don't like selling. I don't like being sold to. So, you know, I developed a system over time to navigate that. So, you know, the people that I was speaking to didn't feel like I was selling to them, and I didn't feel like I was selling to them either. So I learned how to educate my clients, to give them enough information that they needed to know that I was a good fit for their business, that I was going to be right for them, that I was going to do right by them and produce a good result for them. So you need to learn the importance of the sales process, but, you know, you don't necessarily need to go down the road of hard sales. If you can educate your clients, if you can come up with a system to teach your clients on the benefits of the value that you offer, well then, you know, they're going to come to that epiphany themselves that they need your help. So come up with that process of bringing them closer along to becoming a client by teaching them about the value that you offer. Number 9, construct an offer. Now, along with understanding funnel marketing and making it easy for your prospects to come step by step towards what it is that you have to offer, your offer needs to make it easy for them as well. So again, if you just have services up on your website, well then that's not enough for somebody to make a decision that they need to engage you for your services. You need to package that up in a way that's going to make it easy for them to know what they are getting, to know what the outcome is going to be. So you need to construct an offer that's going to be compelling to them to take action. Now, if you've done this correctly, you will have brought them through a funnel system that will take them step by step closer to becoming ready for that offer. Now, as I said, maybe that's through a lead magnet where you give them some initial value, an email drip system where you follow up with continuous value over time. So by the time they come to your offer, they're warmed to what it is that you're putting in front of them. But then that offer itself needs to be constructed well. So it needs to be clear on the outcome that they're going to get from whatever it is that you're offering to them. And it needs to be presented to them in a very clear way. So understand what it is that you're offering to your prospect and make it as easy as possible for them to buy. Number 10, define your marketing strategy. Now, as I said before, when you build it, they don't just come. That old adage, it doesn't hold water. When you build your website, you realize that unless you've got a system to drive traffic to that website, then you're going to be sitting there twiddling your thumbs, and you're not going to be getting those inquiries that you thought you would be doing. But if you do take the time to develop your funnel so that you know the steps you're bringing your prospects through, and you know the offer that you're going to put in front of them, and you have a sales or teaching process to convince them that you are the person to do business with, well then what you need to do now is to drive traffic to that website to go through that system. Now, in order to do that, you need to understand who your audience is and where they're congregating and what type of information they're going to be open to when you're putting your services in front of them, when you're putting your value in front of them. Is that going to be content marketing? Are you going to create articles? Are you going to create how-to videos? Are you going to contribute to forums or to groups and go in there and be the most helpful person within that group or within that forum? Or are you going to use paid advertising? Are you going to use Google AdWords? Are you going to use social media advertising, Facebook advertising? What is it that you're going to do to drive the traffic to your website so you can start putting them through that system so you bring them closer to a sale? And number 11, show up consistently. Now, if you follow every single step up until this point, you will be in a position now where you have all of the pieces of the puzzle. You've got everything in place. You've got your system there ready to bring cold leads through to becoming clients and to producing that revenue. But what you need to do now is to continue marketing to those people, continue driving traffic to your website, continue putting them through your funnel and then through your sales process to becoming clients. Now, does this mean that you need to have blind faith that what you have done and what you have put in place in the first place is correct? No, it doesn't mean you need to have blind faith. You need to keep your eyes open and you need to optimize and improve where possible. But what you do need is you need a little bit of resilience. You need to continue to show up again and again and again. It's not something that will happen for you overnight. It's not something that will necessarily happen for you in the first week or month or even quarter. But if you do continue to show up consistently, you will get better at whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's creating content or creating how-to videos or optimizing those ads through Facebook or through Google AdWords, whatever it is that you're doing to bring people through to your website. And however you're bringing them through that funnel, through that sales or promotional or teaching process that we spoke about earlier, then you're going to learn, you're going to get better, and you're going to be able to optimize so you can refine every single step. And this is what building a business is all about. You don't just throw up a website today. You don't just build it and they will come. There are a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and you need to understand what you need to have in place to bring people through to your business and convert them into a client so that they pay you for your services. So these are the tips that if I was going back to give myself some advice, these are the tips that I would give myself. And it took me a long time to learn each and every one of these processes and to integrate them into my business. As I said, it took me years and years and years to really come up with this system. So take the time to go back through these tips and really understand what you've already got in place within your business and where you don't have your systems in place within your business, and then do what you need to do to implement these tips and implement these processes and techniques into your own business. But I'd love to hear from you where you are on your journey of building your branding business. Have you just cut the cord of your secure in-house role or your studio design role to go out into freelance for the first time, or are you a couple of years in and you're starting to realize some of the things that I've spoken about here and started to implement them into your business? I'd love to hear from you. If you've got any questions at all in relation to any of these processes, please let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell as well. If you want more exclusive tips like this, well then head on over to BrandBuildr.ai and sign up for the list. As I said, I do keep some exclusive tips for my list, and I do have this YouTube channel as well to release more content. But if you want to get on that list, get on there now. It's free, and I will drop those techniques right into your inbox. But again, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below where you are in your journey. Until next time, brand like a master, and I will see you in the next video.